Some goodbyes happen before people leave. That is what makes them so hard to name. There is no dramatic ending, no final argument, no door closing, no last message you can point to and say, that was the moment everything ended. They still reply, they still stay, they still move through the room like someone who has not gone anywhere. And that is why you doubt yourself first. You tell yourself, maybe I am imagining it. Maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe they are just tired. Maybe life is heavy right now. Maybe love is still here, just quieter than before. But some endings do not begin with distance. They begin with the slow disappearance of warmth. The effort fades first, then the curiosity, then the instinct to reach for you. That is the part people rarely talk about. A relationship does not always break when someone leaves. Sometimes it breaks when someone stops moving towards you from the inside. They still answer you, but they no longer arrive. They still sit beside you, but they no longer meet you. They still know your face, but they no longer search for your heart. And because nothing obvious happened, your grief becomes confusing. You are mourning someone who is still there. You are trying to explain a loss that has no clean shape. That kind of pain is hard to defend, because from the outside, everything may still look intact. No one sees what is missing. No one sees how lonely it feels to sit inside a bond that has already gone cold. And the loneliness is different there. It is not the loneliness of absence. It is the loneliness of presence without closeness. Someone is here, and yet you keep feeling the distance grow. That is why some of the deepest heartbreaks are the quietest ones. They do not shatter all at once. They thin out, they fade. They become smaller day by day until one day you realize you have been living inside a goodbye for a very long time. Sometimes the first thing to disappear is being chosen, not in words, not officially, but in the small invisible ways that love once used to show itself. The check-in that no longer comes, the softness that no longer returns, the attention that no longer reaches, the little movement toward you that once made you feel held. And when that disappears, something inside you starts bracing. You become more careful. You speak more gently. You ask for less. You stop bringing up what hurts, because you can already feel that the room does not open the way it used to. So now you are not only grieving them, you are grieving the version of yourself that once felt safe inside what this was. That is why quiet endings can wound so deeply, because they take two things at the same time. They take the closeness, and they take your certainty. You no longer know what is real enough to mourn. You no longer know whether to stay hopeful or start letting go. And in that confusion, people often stay too long, not because they are weak, but because it is hard to leave something that has not fully admitted it is already over. It is hard to grieve honestly when the evidence keeps contradicting itself. They are here, but not here. They care, but not in the way they used to. They remain, but something essential has stopped coming toward you. And the heart feels that change before the mind has words for it. That is why you may have felt tired long before anything ended, because some part of you was already carrying the weight of an unfinished goodbye. A goodbye without permission, a goodbye without language, a goodbye that asks you to keep smiling while something sacred is quietly disappearing. If you have lived through this, be careful not to mock your own grief. Do not tell yourself it did not count just because no one left loudly. Do not tell yourself it was nothing just because the world could not see it. The loss was real. The change was real. The absence inside the presence was real. Some people leave in body. Others leave in warmth, in effort, in attention, in tenderness, long before they ever go. And sometimes the most painful truth is not that someone left you. It is that they stopped reaching for you while still asking you to call it love. Some goodbyes happen before people leave. And healing sometimes begins the moment you stop forcing yourself to pretend you did not feel the leaving while they were still there.